Hey, we're here. Welcome back. We are at the quote-unquote end of the final case of Ace Attorney Investigations. Does this mean we'll finish it tonight? I don't know. Will I try my damnedest? Yes, I will. Let's get into things. I don't know if it's noticeable, but the voice is still a little... It's still a little mid-recovery, so hopefully, you know, the gravelly characters will be a little less prominent, but we'll see what happens. I have a whole bottle of water here, icy water. Because outside fridge plus 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside means shit's gonna get rough out there, but it is what it is. So now we know who the Yatagarasu really was. And yet, there remains much to this case that needs to be solved. Like how the weapons crossed country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? Hey, Letry. Yep, we got done with the Sheena twist yesterday, so we are just at the end game now. We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. Before we do, I'd like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged.
Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Now I can see what's on that tape detective badge gave us.
We can join it right again. I mean, hey, to be fair, everybody has their schedules and stuff, but yeah, it is kind of a funny coincidence how that keeps happening. This piece of evidence from the KG8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us.
Sure thing, sir.
Boink. All right. Play the tape. This man, it's Manny Kochin.
And he's holding a knife in his hand.
You're probably based attorney the group would No, you're fine, you're fine. If it wasn't obvious, though, this game's been kind of up and down for me. Yesterday was pretty strong. We had a pretty strong section yesterday, but as a whole, it's kind of been iffy for me this game.
This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building.
An apartment building? How do you figure that?
Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident, and the crime scene was the victim's own apartment.
So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building.
At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed.
However, no one could find it.
Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano.
I could see how this would have been a definitive piece, and why someone would want to hide it.
But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to the case we're working on now, sir.
Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader.
Where?
Beep, 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 beep. Wait, what was that?
Huh?
That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. Okay. Oh. This car. This is something we cannot overlook.
Why's that, sir?
Look here, Detective Gumshoe. I think I know what he's talking about. Even if I could hardly fucking see it because of the DS pixelation, I can kind of infer.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? True. Oh, hey there, you old fuck.
Ah, it's Von Carmen, Mr. Edgeworth. You were here all this time.
Ambassador Alba.
Hey, Poke. Welcome to stream.
Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I'm truly sorry.
This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were.
You idiot, Quercus! You couldn't chase after a simple thief! Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Could you do that?
Excuse me?
I hear you've apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel.
But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues.
Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Babyliss police?
His nose his nose kind of looks like it's made of wood, like fucking Pinocchio or something. I don't know why I'm pointing this out. I just haven't really looked at this guy too closely until now.
Ambassador, we are so close. Just a little more.
I think he is made of wood.
Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right?
That's true. However,
Oh, he is. Oh, okay. Yeah, that tracks, actually.
As he said at the very beginning.
That wig from the other room must have been his brother. This area can be considered to be Alabastian soil. In which case, we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends?
Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way.
Hey, buddy. Buddy, what about your leg?
Yo!
He walked it off. Yeah, he got better. He's better now.
Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the sense of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor.
Agent Lang, why have you returned?
Because I have to solve this case, no matter what.
Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable.
This radar investigation really will come to a close. Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do.
Oh, I'm very glad to understand how I feel.
Police and Ace Attorney. Capable. I feel like you could just take out the in Ace Attorney part.
No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder.
you know?
Ugh.
Killer?
Oh shit. What do you got? What do you got, Lang?
Do you really mean that, Agent Lang?
Wolves don't lie.
Who is it?
Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Langzy says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask 2's killer?
You know, I got so wrapped up in other things today, I completely forgot Damask 2 was, like, a thing.
I'll tell you who.
Like, I mean, I knew there was another guy who was killed, I just forgot the name was literally Damask 2. I think I just spoke over something. I think he just
Yeah, he was accusing Francisca. Okay.
I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible.
Yeah! Although, that whip is actually quite...
Hold your tongue. A ludicrous remark you were about to make.
Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder?
Yeah, I am.
He doesn't appear to be joking.
Hey, sis.
I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech. He called you into his office, right?
Yes, he did. What's that have to do with anything?
I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabasta and Babal, did you know?
And where is your evidence that I am the killer?
I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission?
With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I?
Good, then let's move out! Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that.
As if I'd have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. I guess I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation.
She seems rather upset. Not that I blame her. I expected it to accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery.
Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabasta yet.
If you let Kay in, you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing while Miss Von Karma's in trouble.
Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay?
Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go.
As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is gonna get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride.
Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind this will be your last chance.
I think Francisco would actually rather die before someone takes her whip.
Yeah. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it.
Now let's go.
Alright, we got the whole gang together. Okay. Now let's go over the facts one more time.
It cold today. Yeah, I said this earlier, but like when I was going to get water for the stream, I went to my outside fridge and like all the water bottles in there are frozen, so well, yeah, I have water though, I'm good. I made sure to thaw a couple.
Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babal. Alright, let me sip it. Thank you, Poke. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then, the body of Damask II, Mr. Kashinu, was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. In our investigation, we found the murder weapon was this primitive statue. And this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it,
Sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying?
of course I do, sis. And I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring. You wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Atagarasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Objection! Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons?
Don't worry, I plan to show you're the culprit behind that too. You have permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now! Look, sis, I thought I already told you, I'm not messing around here. Ah, his case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring, but Sheena certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go player, something like that. It's been a while. I know I edited that entire fucking video where the Discord sung that song. I should know the words. He is right in saying she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring, could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. Francisca, you need to calm down. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastrian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry, I'm taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. Can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let's now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask 2. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask 2 is related to a smuggling ring, it will mean the end of our investigation. So I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis. Rubbish. And the best thing I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. Let's get started! Yes, let's. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. And the murder weapon in this killing of Damask 2 is Babal's primitive statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable society. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisca will remain a suspect? You got it, Mr. Prosecutor. So why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on that which is right in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Langzy never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor, who do you think you are speaking about Langzy's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you will need to see the truth. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal. And the murder weapon and the killing of the Damask 2 is Babal's primitive statue. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. Wait, hold on, let me read that back. One of the knives was used in Babal, yes? And the murder weapon is the statue. Somehow these two objects were able to... But I don't think it was just those two, right? Weren't the statues, like, switched around? So in that case, wouldn't it be, like...
Objection!
Agent Lang, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Alright, good, alright. Oh? Damask 2 was killed with Babal's primitive statue, yes. If that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's primitive statue go? To Babal! Precisely. And for two statues really were switched, and this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that the sis... only that the sis is the only one who could have done it. I feel like that could have been phrased a little better, but whatever, I'm not lying. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabast and Babal is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. Is that really so, Agent Lang? What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guard said, along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was some other way than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I pointed out, it would open a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. Looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that'll show me this other route. Yeah, I mean, whoever the one, I mean, it sure fucking did cross, yeah? Agent Lang, I'm sure you're familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo? Like I said before. Humans can't fly! No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start claiming that Shayna somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you'd better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Ugh. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well, you will have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea somewhere inside that head of yours. Let's hear it! The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is... I don't know. Uh-oh. Can I take another look at it? Well, they're not, okay, well, they're not letting me present, like, the important thing here is they're not letting me present a profile show, so. It's gotta be something in here is the thing, yeah? Wait. No, it can't be the body. No. Because we saw the body. Well, my only other way to go would be, like, the statue, but that seems like something that Ace Attorney would do. Take that! Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the primitive statue replica. Ah, yes, naturally, I didn't just spend a minute thinking about that, no. You can't be serious! Yatagarasu, or rather, Callisto Yu, dressed as Agent Sheena, was inside Babal. She dressed her replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Ha! Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? Ha! And how exactly did she do that? He's literally baring his fangs at me. Okay, furry, but he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give a speech, he called you into his office. So just before the murder, Francisco was called here, right into his very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh, what are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma abandoned this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer.
Yeah, I guess I did say something like that.
In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is.
Ha! You really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth?
How dare you! As I said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I am the killer.
I think the shadow statue thing we were talking about before was like how those two, like, statues in the pool area made up the Yatagarasu's shadow, but I could be wrong about that. Again, last night, kind of a blur.
Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too!
I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time. Which is why I would like to hear about your movements in this room. Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case.
Alright, so what would you like me to talk about?
I'd like you to please testify to your movements in this room until the murder occurred.
Alright, let's try this your way for a change.
What if she has this...
But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl, no! As you wish.
Alright, let's go, baby.
As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office.
Francisca, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct?
Yes, of course.
I see. Now, the only way I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. Alrighty. Let's go. I was assigned to the guard duty, we know. After I saw Steel Samurai on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden. Okay. Our preparations were in place. I was called back by Ambassador Alba. Okay, tell me a little bit more about that. At that time, Damask II's body had yet to be found in this room. Is that correct?
That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence.
a criminal will say anything to get out of being arrested. How do we know you're not lying?
Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you.
Seriously?
Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants.
I can attest to that. I remember speaking with a lovely lady around that time in here in my office.
Alright then. Add that statement to your testimony and let's hear some details.
So Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he? When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill. Okay. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill?
What do you mean by that?
The entrance to this room is on this side, however, the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. It would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct? Isn't that a double negative? Whatever.
I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right?
I suppose.
After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself, and was growing them with the utmost care, you know.
Yes, the plants in this room, they are all like my children.
The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in a full bloom.
Hold on.
Okay.
Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now?
I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand?
I don't understand why a certain thing is the way that it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony.
Very well.
There were 4 large flowers, huh? Wrong. Gas leak. I mean, 2 of them. Whatever.
Francisca, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way.
Ha! I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this?
Yeah, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir.
Ugh! All I've done is state what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion for murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles?
At the very least, it has a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Ha! Let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor.
What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine that flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy.
They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth.
I understand. Hard cut to black. Okay. Oh, well, there are spots where 2 of them might have been uprooted, huh?
This patch of soil looks as though it had something removed from it.
Heh, what are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here, waiting for an explanation, you know.
Did you know, Agent Lang? Flowers are best appreciated in silence. Looks like two things are pulled out of this flower box. Maybe these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they're actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports.
Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, looks like there are only 2 here to me.
You realize, don't you, sis?
Your little lie has failed you.
Ah, Miles Edgeworth, hurry up and shut this man up for me already.
Suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I?
Show evidence, I guess.
We don't have just the piece of evidence you require.
Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight. But I highly doubt it'll last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence.
The truth of the passion flowers revealed to be seen in this piece of evidence.
Oh, well, there is dirt on the tips of these, and there are 2 of them.
Sheena, who was supposedly in Babal the entire time, had these hair sticks on her. That look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers.
Yep. Heh! And so what?
Is this really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight.
Hiya!
Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands, who was in Babal last night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and the statue.
Very well then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal.
How did these support sticks find their way to Babal, and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there.
It becomes even more complicated. Yep. That's the investigation's way.
Huh, so that's why.
Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. You think you're about to solve the case? Boom, more things were smuggled. You think you're just about to corner a suspect? Boom, the crime scene is fucking bought out so you don't have permission to go there. I'm still mad. It's just another stick, isn't it? And so it is. But the shape of the support sticks is what is important. But when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. And the object that completes this picture when used with the support sticks is... the crossbow? Billionaire does do that. Oh. I was like, I didn't like case 3 at that point. I was tolerating it, but I think that was the point where I was just like, oh my god, can it end? That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting... I am. These hair sticks, or rather, plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. Get 'em! I've done it! I found the common thread that connects the two offices. This thread is yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? Must be a common thread that ties all these things together. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a sec. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. Boink. Alright, let's go. Continue that testimony, buddy. Silver Ball's statue was dropped in the Yatagarazu's clothes, and it's shot over here. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Primitive statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? Primitive statues didn't sprout wings? Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. Feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. Okay, you dork. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The primitive statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Okay. Shut over there. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. Hold it! But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? It's just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusions. It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues. If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then what did the crossbow launch? Okay. What could be used to make it look like it was flying? Son of a bitch. Objection! Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by me, that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy, down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I could see how Alabaster's primitive statue could be moved.
Gravity can be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babal's primitive statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Bobbly's embassy. Up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian embassy. How do you explain that? Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's primitive statue. Rotary motion, swinging motion, bungee action! Oh my god. There was a fan in that room, wasn't there? It's rotary motion. I believe it was done via rotary motion. The two statues were transported simultaneously. Simultaneously? Get real! Those statues will collide somewhere along the way. Did I ever say there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of a wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Like Z says, don't object and call success was beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension difference between two wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Lang, as you know, the primitive statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. And if I could evolve statue as a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Yep. Langsy says, howl. I'm not howling, fuck you. My throat is shot already from yesterday. Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirators set themselves up in the two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. And the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to the ball, where it was to be disposed of. To do that, Miss Yu hid inside the grandfather clock, QED.
This proves it, right, Agent Lang? I'm not the killer.
Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? Proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. What are you fucking talking about? So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, but there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. It made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. It is right here in this very room. Alright. Oh yeah, there's a fan in here too. Well, what do you know? It works out.
Take that!
Ha! Looks like they dropped another bomb on us again.
The last pieces to the trick are two pulleys.
Precisely, the ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fans made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. Let's go, we got the tune. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. But you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot Deceptor's real-life stage show is, don't you? First to accept this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Bavali's offices.
passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case. Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food.
Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do?
Single point of the finger here, and this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. There's a piece of evidence that will point us to suggest who the mastermind is. Oh, smiley face, okay. I want to get a good look at these again. Got these crusty models, huh? Okay, no, I think it is that I'm just supposed to use these because they're part of the flower thing. That we're supposed to be accusing Alba. I thought maybe there was something more to it, but no, I think it is literally just that.
Take that!
This smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited the room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both officers had ceiling fans tells us that the person has very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I'm accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus it can only be you, Quercus Alba. Yep. I hate to say it, but like as soon as I saw his design, I was like thinking to myself, yeah, this guy definitely did something.
Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth?
I'm certain of what I'm saying, and I'm sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff he just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there is one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. Because, like, the whole thing revolved around the statues, right?
Take that!
I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real primitive statue for the fake, that's a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. Who better to ask for that reason than King Primadux himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. Yeah, okay. They just always feel the need to, like, use 20 dots at me, huh? I mean, we already knew about the bottom thing, right? So, like, let's look around some. From top to bottom.
This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador.
I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. Looks like a gap.
Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret.
Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What?
Hurry up and open it, Miles.
Alright, here it goes. Why was that animation so fast? Okay.
Wow, it really did open up. Hey, what's with this thing that fell out?
I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. Alright, yeah, let's look at this. What in the... Is this... Hey! Is that what I think it is?
It's a plate for making counterfeit bills.
Well, somehow it appears that we have at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates. And the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabas to begin with. Huh?
The Primdex statue can only be handled by the ambassador of the Secretariat. And the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask II. Surprised by a thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask II and... Then, in order to bring the Steel Samurai the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba, you're leader of the smuggling ring? The country is a mess, and it's all because of you? You're the one who killed the Mask too? Answer us!
I never thought that you would figure things out to this level.
Oh, okay, he's admitting it, alright.
However, there was one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin.
Quit screwing around! Oh, I'm sorry. Quite screwing around! Jesus, okay, they really, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a nitpicker. It's in my blood. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt on to a dead man. There's one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Quercus Alba.
Not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang.
Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation.
Logic investigation? Only seconds ago, you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flippy-floppy logic any real weight, do you?
Heh. Looks like you still don't get why I came back. I'm not using that to play. He's coach. Pay attention. Hey, Garrick.
Excuse me?
You see, the reason I came back is so I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you.
What? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation.
Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning.
Okay. You did?
I knew that this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as the bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around.
So that's what all this was about. Very well, I'll forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth.
Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening, I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor. Somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room... Like saying you did not do it, so... Yeah, fair. That you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. The evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? I don't know about all that. One thing I do know is I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him.
You're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you?
Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me.
Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove I'm the head of the smuggling ring.
Don't be such a sore loser! If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity.
Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's and sincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know the counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue.
You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. Doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything.
It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove it doesn't make sense?
He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us.
The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. We can somehow find that proof now. We can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? The trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in a secret. The tape was stolen by a detective bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence.
Needless to say, we Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary.
Thank you, Charlie's grandma. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma. I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in the illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What's the law and what is justice? Which path is the prosecutor supposed to follow? The choice is what I must make by my own hand, here and now. Use the trump card? Don't use the trump card. There is no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. If a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this.
Oh, I wonder what that card is. Never seen that before in my life.
It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates.
Oh, is that what it is?
This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin.
Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession?
Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense. Let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof the card contains directions from the ringleader?
I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given.
What?
This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG-8 incident. KG-8 incident? The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate!
Very interesting. Must admit, I'm very curious now. Very curious indeed these case-deciding pieces of evidence you presented.
The prey the Yatagarasu has been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man who has had free reign for 10 long years to simply walk away. What about Charlie Nyba? I mean, I'm kind of content with the voice I'm doing for him right now. I don't usually like overlapping my voices. At least not within the same game. Now it is time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me.
So, what is this interesting thing you wanted to show me?
The trump card and the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words will be realized. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir! Boop. There he is, just standing there. What you see here is security footage shot just before the KG-8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the car is a directives card from the smuggling ring. This is the section that proves that the card was used to relay an order. I mean, it's in his hand, isn't it? That should be proof enough.
Take that!
As you can see, Mr. Coach is holding the card in his right hand.
I see. The killer is indeed holding a card with the exact design on it. And that card, the one you have, just because they look the same doesn't mean that they are, does it now?
But there is a very easy way for me to prove they are, in fact, one and the same. All you have to do is simply take a look at this. The blood. This dark red blood. Yes, this is your proof. Proof that the orders on this card were played out in that terrible tragedy. The blood belonged to the victim of the KG-8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can very easily verify that as fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. This car that passed by the victim's apartment building is an official Cadopian government car. What? Detective Gumshoe, if you could please magnify the footage. Oh. Yeah, magnify the tape playing on the old TV. Okay, you know what? Whatever. It's a fucking video game. Who gives a shit? present the fucking thing.
Take that!
The shape of this pocket and a director's card in it. It tells that without a doubt the person in this car is Manning Kochin. The license plate on this car was also captured by a security camera. And with it, we can easily find out who was sitting in this car on that day, 10 years ago. It's the year 2019. We'll have that sort of technology by then. So true. This is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in this car on that day. Oh, Jesus Christ, what's happening to the man? Oh! Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, alright. He's stanced up. Alright. You've done well, boy, to make it this far. However, about your claim that I was riding in the car at that time, that's going to be mighty difficult to prove. How so? The Principality of Cadopia no longer exists. So naturally, all records from that time period also no longer exist. Ugh, that arrogance. What he really means is he's already erased all traces of them. I love a society who get ready to play attorney investigations. Oh boy. Are we finished here, boy? All that I have left to me now is this piece of footage. Must be something here I can use against him. Hey, wait a minute.
Take that!
What the? Ambassador Alba! Yes, what is it? You were once an army man in the service of Cadopia. It was you who made the many missions you participated in successes, correct? Why the sudden backhanded praises, boy? Although to be sure, the brilliance medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Cadopia. But now I'm the only one who owns this particular medal. In that case, the only person it could be who is sitting in this car is you. How did you figure that? No one wants to talk about your breast. By the medal captured here in this footage. It is clearly the same exact medal as the one on your chest. What? Oh, Jesus, yeah, okay. His face just does that, you know? He's fine, don't worry about it. This is how it will be. but I won't look back. Well, this is the path that I have chosen.
You've moved me with your devotion to this case, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why is he taking such an arrogant stance with me?
It's almost looking possible, isn't it? For the lot of you to have come this far, it looks like I just might lose our little game this time.
You might lose the game this time.
You don't get another round, Mr. Ambassador. Is that a fact? Very well. I decided to confess and admit my guilt.
You're going to confess?
And I will accept whatever punishment that may come as a result.
What the?
Regarding the Mask 2 murder, I admit it. I did it out of self-defense.
You're claiming that it was justified self-defense?
The Mask 2 attacked me, and I felt that my life was in danger. If I hadn't done what I did, I might be the one you found dead instead of him. What a pathetic performance. I'm not giving you one.
Wow, you two really know how to laugh at inappropriate times.
If you wish to claim it was justified self-defense, we will need some evidence.
It's always the evidence with you, isn't it? But if that's what you require, I'll provide it. That man left a mark on me when he attacked.
What? I don't particularly want to show it off, but this is proof that it was in self-defense. Oh shit. Man is bandaged up. Okay.
I'm an old man, and sometimes I don't pay enough attention when I should.
But the Mask 2 didn't have a single weapon on his body.
Oh yeah, true.
Hold on, it's nothing to get worked up over because I hid the weapon.
You hid it?
Okay.
I'm sorry, but as you know, a murder is a murder, even if it's in self-defense. And I couldn't let it become public, seeing as how I am an ambassador. This is the weapon you seek. My special bonsai trimming shears.
Oh yeah, they do have the blood on them.
Ugh, it's covered in blood.
He was trembling quite badly during our struggle. But that's when he grabbed the shears that were sitting in my office and attacked. So you see, it was an act of self-defense.
Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Since he has both a wound and the weapon that caused it, it's enough to declare it so.
Dun dun. No way!
Oh, which reminds me. Guess there's still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, all of that is my secretary's doing. I had no knowledge it was going on. Stop spewing nonsense! You're trying to throw my investigation under the bus in your desperation. If you want to get real honest, everything in this case can be connected to you.
The murder of the Mask 2 was done in self-defense. In my trials, no man escapes this crime alive.
Perhaps so, if you were my opponent in court. However, there was one important fact that I think you may have forgotten.
And what is that?
That's what you mean. Extraterritoriality. That's right. This embassy sits on what is effectively Alabastian soil. So any trial that has to be held will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts.
Okay. Agent Lang, what is Interpol's stance on this?
Agents investigate. That's our job. The judgment of people who have confessed to their crime, that's the court's job. And I've already confessed to all of my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. These rights are effective even on your country's soil.
Therefore, no matter where a crime may take place, I will never stand trial in one of your courts. That arrogance, your expression, that's nothing like the face of someone who's ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me I have your own country's judicial system eaten right out of your hands. These crimes you all speak of are so seriously of. To me, this has all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. Alabas has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. All you would accomplish is you would change the backdrop of our little game.
These 2 layers of protection that extraterritoriality provides him. This is why he was one of those who could not be brought to court.
I mean, considering Chad is making a fuss out of it, I have a feeling, yeah, this is, those words are gonna come up a lot, and I feel like either I or somebody should start a tally of how many times they're said. Maybe I will, I don't know. That was 3 already, right?
You see now, don't you? I live in a whole different world than you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and fetch your eviction papers.
Is there nothing we can do?
I'm gonna take a sip. Woo! I love how I was like, oh yeah, Bad's gone, so the only gravelly voice I'll have to do now is Ling. Immediately gives Alba another fucking gravelly voice as soon as he breaks his old, like, defenseless old man facade. Oh, I'm so smart. So how long did you plan on streaming? Well, judging by me putting the fact that, like, I wanted to end this today in a lot of the things that I said, I wanted to try to see this through. Oh boy. I have a feeling that maybe that won't happen, though. We'll see what happens.
I can't believe it, sir. Extraterritoriality.
Fork. Yes, and there is nothing we can really do about that. In the end, we didn't have enough authority to bring him to justice.
I can't believe that even though he knows he's the boss, he can't lay a finger on him.
I know.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sorry to skip out on you, but I've got some business to take care of.
You can't even give an evil guy like him a slap on the wrist. What the heck were laws created for? What good are they? If the law can't help us, then I'll go as the Yatagarasu and take care of this myself.
Don't you dare! Mr. Edgeworth?
Sorry, that was a bit too harsh.
I know how you feel, sir. We're trying to take on an ambassador, after all. And he did tell us earlier to get out of the theater. This is kind of the country, I guess. But I feel like I've been slapped across the face for just doing my job.
What am I going to do? Should I retreat for now and formulate a better plan?
Come on, everyone. We can't give up yet.
Okay.
I want you to think about something for a sec. We never let up for even a second, and as long as we don't stop investigating, we might find the rotten treasure hidden here.
She's right.
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth.
You're right, Kay. Very well. Let's reopen the investigation and see what we find. Come on, Kay.
Right behind you.
Okay, and I'll go check out the mall a bit more, sir.
There he goes. And I have something that I need to investigate further in Alabast. Okay. Now then, before I gather any more information, I have to do a bit of housekeeping. Get rid of those funny flowers. Alright, let's investigate. Ambassador Alba seemed agitated over something. Don't give me that look! Don't give me the I know what you are look!
I wonder why.
There are 2 special circumstances that surround the ambassador. First, the embassy itself has extraterritorial rights. 5. If something happens on Alabastian soil, we are unable to legally prosecute it.
Cool. Sounds like embassies are the perfect place to steal whatever you want.
And Murder Damask 2 run a smuggling operation and make counterfeit bills, apparently.
done by Mr. Cochin and Babal.
Yes, he apparently used the embassy's coupon printing press to do it. But it's the same story over there anyway. The ball also has extraterritorial rights 6. Which brings me to my next point. The ambassador's extraterritorial rights, fucking hell. Those rights are effective even in our own country.
Really?
No matter what happens, he can never be tried in our courts. He retains some very special rights indeed. Basically, no matter what wrongs he may commit, we can't bring him to trial here.
So I guess we really don't stand a chance, do we?
We might stand a chance if we can somehow nullify either one of his special rights. Alright, we got some new logic stuff. Let me see if I can, connect anything. I find that rather interesting. We know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the embassy's press, but the necessary materials, such as the Babalese ink and paper, must have been hidden in a secure location. What do you think would have happened if the renovation had begun?
Well, he probably had to find a better hiding place or get rid of it all.
Right, so we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plates and bills disposal. And the reason Mr. Cochin was killed as the ringleader of the smuggling operation. Based on what we know, who do you think was the one with the most to gain? I guess. It's the one person who has been erasing all evidence of the smuggling operation. From both embassies, the co-conspirator who is mopping up, Ambassador Alba. Ambassador Alba had a very strong motive to kill Manny Cochin. Boink. The cause of Ambassador Alba's agitation, the rotten treasure we may find, and the motive for killing Mr. Cochin. Miss Yu said herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. We would take her words at face value, and the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Mr. Cochin was killed.
You mean Ambassador Alba is the real killer? Well, the two of them were friends.
Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Cochin was the one who first betrayed their friendship?
Oh, I get it. Wasn't Mr. Cochin pushing really hard for Mr. Poleno to be ambassador after the reunification?
Yes, and that was the real reason why he wanted to steal Alaba's primitive statue.
So Mr. Cochin hired Damas II to go steal it for him. When Ambassador Alba found out what he was up to, he killed Mr. Cochin?
It's definitely a possibility at this point.
Those two really were thinking of no one but themselves. But the question now is, how did he do it? Ambassador Alba was in Alabas, but Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babal, right?
Right, and that is what we must solve next. Alright, What? This was taken just before two ambassadors gave their bouquets to the Steel Samurai. Wait, is it just my imagination? Or is there something in this picture that I've seen before? Appears to be a bouquet of Persian cyclamens and roses.
Wow, you even know the exact species? I never would have figured you for an expert on flowers.
Yeah. It's all because of those flowers that old lady sends me every month. Just look at me, it's like some sort of botanist.
So, why exactly is this yellow flower here?
That one, I'm not sure.
What? You don't know?
As far as I can recall, I'd never seen a flower like this before. I feel as though I've seen this shape somewhere before. Well, that means I gotta, like, press it further, right? Bada bing. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just get a close look at that. God damn it. Ball's national symbol is the butterfly, and Alabas is the flower. It would appear that someone is employing the old hide a tree in a forest trick.
What are you mumbling to yourself about? Wait, what? The handle on this knife.
Ah! Yes, it's the handle that was supposed to be on the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. The weapon that killed him was carried through the Theatre Neutralis, in the very bouquet Ambassador Alba was carrying. A flower motif. Looks like one of the flower petals is missing.
Oh, and take a look at the weapon itself. It's missing the exact same petal.
Yep. That's what I saw, and I was like, ah, wait, fucking hell. The knife in this photo is most definitely the same as this murder weapon. Alright. I believe we now understand why Ambassador Alba was so nervous and agitated. Must have something to do with where Mr. Cochin was killed. A place where the Alabastian ambassador was likely to meet the Babalese Mr. Cochin. The place where Ambassador Alba happened to have committed the murder is... Well, I mean, logically, it would have to be the middle spot, right? The only place that makes sense is here, at the Theatre Neutralis.
What? Here?
The Goodwill event was being held here today, correct? The only place that both of them would have been is in here.
If that's the case, and everything changes.
Alright, Poke, see you around.
This theater isn't actually Alabastian land, so that wipes out one of those extraterritorial rights he has.
It makes logical sense, in which case, it is a reason for us to investigate further.
So, what should we check out?
Let's see, I believe we should check the immigration records for both Alabas and Babal, post-haste. Babal's records should be easy to obtain, however the problem will be Alabas. I wonder if they would allow us to see their records despite their order to vacate. Hey girl, how you been?
Already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgeworth.
Francisco.
I have here the security footage from both Alabas and Babal. Would you rather take a look at its contents? Okay, thank you.
You move fast.
Upon Karma strives to be perfect in every way. It's not in my nature to keep on retreating like this. I took the liberty of looking over the Babal investigation reports as well. From now on, you'll make no excuse to back down or say that we can't solve this case.
Sorry about earlier.
We won't be beaten. Because my cute little subordinate is going to try his very best, isn't he?
Hasn't she patronized me enough already for a lifetime? Yeah, so this video contains footage from Alabas immigration screening area. Whenever any Von Karma appears, they bring a whole brass orchestra with them. Yep.
I really hope there's something in here that we can use.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh fuck, old man jump scare. Steel Samurai jump scare. Which minute's footage should I examine? I'll be honest, I only really saw 521 and 523. I kind of my eyes kind of drifted. Can we look back at 522 for a second? Okay. I mean, yeah, I saw the old man, but that was about it. Okay. I don't see anything too suspicious here. Alright, let me examine this card a little. Doesn't something about this lump's shape strike you as odd?
Huh? Isn't it supposed to be this shape?
No, there's clearly something odd about the bulge. If only we had the push card itself, we could compare and confirm my hunch. Next, let's check the footage from Babal's security camera.
Phooey, there's no single sign of a suspicious person or anything.
That right there is the contradiction.
Huh? Did I miss something?
You didn't miss anything, because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Cochin entering his own country.
But wasn't his body found in Babal?
It would appear that the true fate of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself. Let's go, investigation complete. Ambassador Alba! Hi, buddy.
I thought I'd asked you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth.
Actually, I thought I should let you know that this theater sits on my country's soil.
You've had your fun, and I've enjoyed our little game.
I dare say you've even achieved a new high score.
However, once you've recorded a score, that same game can never be replayed again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done, and it's a game over.
Oh, but you're not a gamer.
No.
I hate games.
Where do you think you're going at this time of night?
After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regret. So I'm heading to the airport now to return home.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There's still too many issues we need to discuss with you.
You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it!
Oh, hi! Oh, I almost fucking called you Manny. Hi, Paleno.
Please, may I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba?
Can't believe Alba's the biggest gamer in this franchise.
Ambassador Paleno? Even just a teeny tiny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationship between our countries is in a precarious situation, you know. Very well. If you insist, I will play just one more round with them and see what they want. Not that they'll get any farther.
Ambassador Paleno.
Mr. Edgeworth, all I wish for is the normalization of relationships between our two countries. There is one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do what's right.
Thank you for your vote of confidence.
Now then, what was it that you wanted me to ask about? You have a flight to catch after all. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just one question.
That's more than enough, because I only have one question anyway. I want to hear your alibi. How you couldn't have killed Mr. Manny Cochin.
Oh, I see. You seem to have a good hand this time around. This should be fun.
This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. Won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Alright, go!
Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion here. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Cochin and I were fellow smugglers. Well, to get to the point, I was in Alabas the whole time. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babal. That is my alibi.
Name is Edgeworth, not frankly. So that is your alibi.
That is correct. It's simply not possible for me to have committed a crime in Babal. Now that we cleared that up, I'd appreciate it if you would move out of my way.
Hold it!
I said hold it! What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question.
You did. But you still have yet to really answer my one question.
What?
Until you tell us the truth, I'll refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing.
Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer.
Miles Edgeworth, as my subordinate and representative of this country's prosecutors, you are forbidden to lose.
Of course, that's something I've understood from the start.
That guy's the one who ordered my father killed, isn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
The goal of the first Yatagarasu was to capture the smuggling ring's leader. My father and Uncle Bad, their legacy will live on through me. So that's why we just gotta catch him, okay?
We will, I promise. Now, Ambassador Alba, let's have it the truth, shall we?
No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much, Adam, when like she did the whip animation, but like the hit of the whip like sprite didn't show up on him. Like, I feel like she knows. Yeah, of course. Don't understand why I'm being held under suspicion. Mr. Coach and I were fellow smugglers.
Hold it!
It's not a hypothesis. Earlier, we proved it to be what happened.
Well, let's leave that to one side for now.
Because it doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh, so you really had no reason to kill Mr. Cochin?
Let's suppose I had one. Then why not? I'll indulge you.
After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Even if that's how you see things, I'd appreciate it if you would take me seriously.
I'm sorry. I suppose you're in a bit of a pickle. Very well. A game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I have no motive to kill. Let's see you disprove it.
How can he stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being? I'm not just going to stand by and watch him get away with his crimes. In that case, what motive would I have had to kill my co-conspirator? I mean, he wanted to steal the statue, right?
Objection!
Which had your thing in it. If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Coach had betrayed you. But you had your own reason too. Namely, you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into this mess. Oh wow, okay, my voice was not too far off actually.
I don't believe this. You have a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, I suppose you have some proof to support your argument.
I never use guesswork in moving my cases forward. It's been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of the note is a request calling for a theft of Alaba's primitive statue. By killing him and pushing all of the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him.
Are you finished with your hypothesizing?
Excuse me?
Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or a thought alone can't kill. Isn't that right?
Didn't expect him to resort to playing the semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin.
Now then, if you will excuse me. What? Wait, what? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question.
Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a little bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man Manny was, he was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death.
That is something for the ball to figure out, and something to which I have no relation to.
Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Paleno.
I'm very sorry, but it seems that now even my voice falls on deaf ears.
There is no reason for you to apologize, Ambassador Paleno.
We must find some way to stop him from leaving. It seems there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. Who's holding it?
Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba.
okay.
Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, the Yatakarasu's legacy will live on through me.
Yes, but how do you suggest we stop him from leaving?
You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this?
No, and why should I recognize that tattered organizer?
Wait, where have I seen that before?
That's a clue my father, Bern Faraday, left for us.
Did you say Bern Faraday?
Mr. Faraday's organizer? Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG8 incident.
The one in which he wrote about the Yatakarasu's key?
Yes, this organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss Yu kill 7 years ago.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You say that like it was related to me.
Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did.
What an amusing little girl you are. That sort of trickery won't work on me.
If you don't believe me, then take a look at this.
Bop.
And what is that toy there?
Yo, the plot device.
That's...
This thievery device was used by the Yatagarasu, or rather, by my father. 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy.
What?
These two pieces of evidence that hold information in the Yatagarasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it to Alabas right behind you.
Little girl, get to the point.
I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. Just start ripping at the things and eating them. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence. One Monster House gift!
Thank you for that vivid mental image, Carrick.
Yatagarasu, ever the thorn on my side.
Okay, does that organizer really contain any information on his dirty dealings?
It's nothing case-breaking, really.
Ah, and it was just a bluff.
Even if it was, we still can't let all the info my father and Uncle Bad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him. Those two pieces aren't the keepsakes of your father. It's okay, I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end.
Okay.
When the going gets tough, someone's gotta be there to put the wind back in your sails. After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony.
How dare you all, barring a person like me.
Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please.
All right, but this is the absolute last.
Sure it is, buddy.
Then even if you use all the power of Ambassador Paletto's office, you won't stop me.
I don't think this section would be as... I don't think people would be chatting up this section as much if it ended right here, buddy. I can't let this opportunity Kay has created for me to go to waste.
The last time I met with Mr. Cochin was here at the Theatre Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabas for the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again after that. So you see, there's no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people are practically begging, I'll allow you to question me.
What arrogant old man.
Yes, but no matter. We can't allow this chance to escape us.
I will warn you, though. You've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane questions, and you will be punished.
Oh, good. Pulling out the old Mo strategy. Although, to be fair, that wasn't Mo that did that strategy back in Justice for All. I think that was the judge that enforced that, but still. I call it the Mo strategy because I associate it with Mo. So, any needless pressing or presenting will cost more to our case.
In that case, the only thing you can do is present the correct evidence. Understood?
Of course, I don't intend to let him intimidate me. I know Mr. Kochin was killed before he returned to the vault. In which case there's only one statement I need to present the evidence. She's here at the Theatre of Neutralis. So now I'll ask for the rest of the time as I stated earlier. Oh yeah, what's Francesca was just tired of hearing him talk. Well, how the tables turn. I not see Mr. Kochin again after that. There is no time span in which I could have killed him. But what about in the very theater that we are standing in right here, right now?
Objection!
I'd like you to take a look at this picture. It's a rather nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Sick bars, bro. Oh, it's commemorative, all right. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you who committed the murder. Come again. This is the knife that killed Mr. Kochin. I see you recognize it as well as you should, for it was you who brought it into this theater. You hid it in among the flowers you were to give to the Steel Samurai, meaning that you killed Manny Kochin here at the theater. Hey Adam, thank you for the sub. It's time for me to catch my flight.
Objection!
We're not through yet. It's game over for you, Mr. Edgeworth. But I thank you for the entertainment. No matter how passionately you orate, the end result will still be the same. I won't be returning to this country ever again. That's right. This man is an ambassador, and he has extraterritorial rights! 9. No matter how hard we chase after him, we won't be able to have him tried in court. Yes, that's exactly the face you should be making. The face of a worthless cur. Things a 100% innocent man says. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell. That would make you a beta male cuck, Edgeworth. The corpse. Is there no one who could lay a finger on this man? Is this really the end?
Knuckle back!
Hey, bestie! Me and the boys! Agent Lang! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Get out of my way! My plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Alba. Shouldn't it count as a crime in his country? There it says, I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm through playing games with you people. You can't touch me. I'm not even thinking Fortnite anymore. I don't know. I don't fucking play it. I think that's an old. I don't think it is though. I'm not sure though. If you do it with Spark an International Incident Agent Lang. Sorry, but no, it wouldn't. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Good job holding the fort down until I got here. So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me this nonsense and let me through! Langsy says, before aiming for a throat, chew the neck shield off first. Yeah, whatever that means, buddy. Interpol headquarters in the Imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabast. Took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. The Imperial household? What have you done? It's like Z-Lang's persona. I mean, we haven't seen anything else it could be, so I mean... You've been relieved of your duties as an ambassador, Mr. Alba. What? Effective today, effective right now. And you have Mr. Prosecutor's videotape to thank for this.
The video of the Yatagarasu protected?
You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador. In that case, I thought I'd strip you of that title. You underestimated me, a descendant of the founder of detainment philosophy, Lang Zi. 4,000 years of deeply entrenched connections and networks around the world have really paid off.
It can't be! I don't believe this! My ambassadorship has been revoked.
Looks like you're finally coming to grips with your new standard.
Woohoo! Looks like he's turned docile again.
Okay, Carrick. I spent a minute trying to parse that. Oh my god, okay. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield.
What a shame. I had so wanted to use my whip on him.
Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador.
Do you really think you can still pull that on us now? We've already ripped away the mask and seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba. Dude, do you really need to do that every time you switch from the docile form to the other form?
No, I won't be stopped now!
He still intends to fight us?
So what if I'm no longer an ambassador? You still don't have any evidence on me. The fact remains that you cannot arrest me.
I expected no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood.
You say that I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater, but even if it's true there was a knife in my bouquet, I left that bouquet in the theater. So anyone could have taken it out from there and used it, right? Besides, the claim that he was killed here itself is odd. After all, wasn't his body discovered in Babal? Are you claiming that I carried his body all the way over there? Huh. Preposterous.
Objection!
I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready? Because this is no game. This is war! Hey, Poke, I believe the tally for extraterritorial rights is at 10 now. Just since you were the one keeping count. Also, we are still cross-examining the tree, man. So what was that about your final testimony, buddy? Pal?
I killed Mr. Cochin in this theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. I left that bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there. Besides, Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babal, right? There is no way for me to have transported his body from the theater to Babal.
Yo, you won? Nice.
Look, don't you think you've had enough fun with me? You've already stolen my ambassadorship from me. Would you have me surrender too?
You have no plans to ever return to this country, right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you?
As if I care.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, boot this guy out of the embassy, and we can finally end everything. I know, and I will give it my all to see that he leaves in handcuffs. With the title of ambassador, he is just another witness.
Yes, just another witness. All right, what are we waiting for? Let's get this guy.
I've never actually played any of the other, like, different forms of Uno. And I know there's a lot of them. Get him good.
What if they understand that all I can do is present evidence to their testimony? I killed Mr. Cochin. Yeah, you did. Oh wait, no, you put that as a question.
Well, I left that in the theater. Anyone could have taken a knife from there. Discovered in Babal, right? There's no way for me to have transported his body from the theater to Babal.
You're right. Oh, you're so right, actually. You're just an old man. You don't have the strength needed to carry a body from all the way over there. What if you had a vehicle, though?
Objection!
Actually, I do believe there was a way to transport the body out of the theater. Perhaps you should give this a look.
What is that supposed to be?
It's footage from a security camera that captured the stay of the immigration area.
Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on it?
Ah, I see. Alright. Fair enough, sounds interesting.
Just letting you know that we're not the only ones watching your every movement.
Thank you for the warning.
Now, if you could take a good look at this section here. This lump here inside the pushcart, do you know what's causing it?
Should I? Because I don't.
In that case, allow me to enlighten you. This is the cause of the unnatural lump under the cloth in the pushcart.
The body?
What is the meaning of showing me that?
Perry, no, don't say it. I'm sorry. It's to say of the unnatural bulge in the pushcart is Mr. Cochin's body. You had the Steel Samurai wheel his body away from the real crime scene.
What a guess. But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it.
I admit that for now it is but a hypothesis. However,
If you can't prove it, then I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people.
hey, Gummy!
Sorry it took so long, Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
Gumshoe with the save, he always comes through, every time. That's my guy.
Gummy?
Detective Gumshoe, is that the Steel Samurai's pushcart? Yep, we removed Alba's rights.
Yes, sir! I found it in the open stage area.
So that's where you went.
Detective spirit that Pops left me with. I thought I'd follow my gut and go with it, sir. So, Mr. Edgeworth, is this worth anything to the case?
Yes, it just might play a major role in solving it, Detective. Something isn't right. I thought the entire samurai family was in Alabast. Where exactly in the open-air stage area did you find this pushcart?
I found it just lying there at the edge of the stage, sir.
Oh, well, let's leave that for now and examine the inside, Detective.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Let's see. Up!
It's blood.
This must be Mr. Cochin's blood. Which only goes to prove that Mr. Cochin's body was indeed transported by his pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at this theater, and then placed his body in the pushcart. And then you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you.
I forced him to move the body into Alabast. What nonsense! Why would I bother to do such a thing?
You were scheduled to make a speech in Alabast, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babal. However, what if you moved the body to Alabast? Because it was in your embassy, you could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence. And then you smuggled it out of Alabast.
Oh, no!
If I can show you how you moved the body from Alabast to Babal, then I win.
But you can't! Security between the two countries is incredibly tight.
I'll be the one to judge whether I can or cannot prove it. And so I ask you to provide us with testimony regarding your movements after you returned to Alabast. Hey, Alba, what was that about it being your last testimony?
Miles Edgeworth, have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved?
To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis at this time. However, I don't believe I've made a mistake in my logic up to this point. Which means...
There is no question that can't be answered, right?
Grimlock statue is moved successfully through a brief flight through the air. So why shouldn't there be an answer as to how the body was moved? Means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can exploit. After I returned to Alabas, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai, shaking hands. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasures, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all.
Objection!
It looks like you left out a few things, such as the murder of the masked two. Furthermore, you left out the part about meeting with me in your office.
Ah, those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. Hit him with the theme, buddy. I do so hate to waste time.
What?
Is not every life precious? Do you really need me to answer that for you?
Objection!
People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. And you'd better try hard, because I doubt you'll find a single contradiction.
He's really full of himself, isn't he?
Yes, he is. How can he be so confident at a time like this? Come, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. I guess that's my invitation to press for once. Okay, if I get damage, it's your fault. So, why was it only with the Steel Samurai? The Pink Princess was also around. The Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip at the time. And the doctors recommended that she rest.
Wow, so you do have a soft side after all.
The pain of a bad hip. I suppose none of you can really understand how it feels. No, I get it. Well, I mean, it's more of like a backache for me, really, but I get it.
Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh?
But isn't that just because you're normally all hunched over? You did need to keep the act up no matter what, I suppose. The point of this is not to discuss my back problems. About 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in my office preparing for the speech. Then just as I was about to start my speech, they appeared. That Yatagarasu was just a trick that you had set up. A most amusing joke. And how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain it in detail for you. You arranged the spotlights in the rose garden so that when you were to take the stage, the audience would see the Yatagarasu's shadow. Oh, that is an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. Imagine the sound a spine made. Oh my god. You, what's it gonna take for you to fess up to anything? Very well then, let's move on to a different question. After Yatagarasu appeared, what was the state of the rose garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. And then once everyone was inside, well, that's why you needed to do the build-up. Fair enough, yeah. I feared for our national treasures, you know? What happened to you after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this. However, upon my return, I had that stroke of bad luck and bumped into Mask Man. That's his name.
Objection!
And I don't want to keep repeating this either. But his name was the Mask too.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Mask Man. Either way, who cares what he was called? By the time he got to the Privilege statue that he was supposed to steal, it had already been swapped for the fake. Talk about an unlucky man being bludgeoned to death by a fake statue.
Fuck, Karma's really letting her whip fly now.
Yeah! I think the scary part is the silence while she's doing it.
She must be at the limit of her patience as well. Physical attacks are meaningless here. Only evidence will suffice. I can't find a single flaw in his arguments. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he's actually guilty of anything.
Are we finished here?
Maya Edgeworth, can you not come up with how the body was moved to the ball?
Sir?
Mr. Edgeworth!
To prove it so much, is he gonna get away with it? Is this the end?
Nah, somebody else is gonna bust in. Yep. Oh no. Ah, god damn it.
It would be a great honor if you would allow us to be your allies in battle.
Evil magistrate, it's time for you to pay.
It's the Steel Samurai?
No, you are mistaken, for I am.
Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of Neo Old Tokyo. And this is Pink Princess Mommy.
Hey Larry, hey Wendy.
Edgy Blue.
Oh! The two people I want to see the least.
Larry, what are you two doing here?
Like, way to show your gratitude, Edgy. We just wanted to help. Yeesh. I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust of my samurai spear.
Go away!
How could you be so mean to us, Edgy Blue? All three of us came to lend a hand, and this is how you treat us?
But isn't this grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant.
Does that really matter right now?
Hey, is it just me or is the Iron Infant completely soaked?
Oh yeah, I found him in the bowl, but he was in the middle of the pool.
Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said.
Huh? Oh, it appears that we made it.
Not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant and Babal. They found it in a pool. I don't recall there being one in Babal.
Oh, that? Well, I was in Alabasta the whole time, so I have no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in the bowl. I thought I lost him in the Rose Garden, but I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh?
Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden? Are you sure about that? Objection, go away, is still on the top. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I found him in the...
That's enough, Larry! The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. So what I've been looking for is not a smuggling route between the countries. The key to the route the Iron Infant took to travel from Alabasta to Babal is... bilateral symmetry, I guess, since aren't the two halves, like, identical? Ah, that's right. This embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe?
Yes, sir.
There's a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. So I believe the route to smuggle Mr. Cochin's body lies.
Does something like that really exist, sir?
An embassy built on bilateral symmetry. And this is where we need to examine. Thanks for putting the pool in the diagram, so I don't even need to think about it.
Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it.
There he goes.
It's too late. It doesn't matter now what you do. It's all a waste of time.
You'll stay here with us and wait.
This is Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm here, sir. There is a reservoir here, just like in the Rose Garden.
Just as I suspected.
What is it?
The two sides of this embassy are mirror images of each other, which means that there is also a pool at the corresponding location on the Babalese side. Mr. Cochin's body was moved into Babal through the pool in Alabast.
Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more physical proof, if you have any.
The Iron Infant is positively soaked in water. Why do you think that is?
Because somebody was trying to drown an infant.
It's because he was fished out of a pool. And not just any pool, it was the Babalese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what must be true. Okay. The water reservoirs in the two courtyards are connected.
And where is your proof that the two sides are connected?
The proof is right there before your eyes. The half-drowned Iron Infant.
This blasted doll! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back! Hey, don't tell me you guys figured everything out without me.
Just look at the blueprints. True. We did, thanks to this hero of justice's son. Even if he is just a doll, he helped manage to foil the villain. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Look, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of unlikely that the body just happened to have passed on to Baba. This guy's a doll, and he's small. So I can believe he made it, but he has a point.
Yes, that's right. I'm glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe?
You see, Mr. Prosecutor, our chase after this man is far from over.
I burned the blueprints.
For what reason was that necessary? Agent Lang.
Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now?
He's not. He's realized a flaw in my argument and is helping to move the logic along. Oop, fuck. In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer. And another thing, Mr. Cochin's body was found in his office in Babar. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open air stage? Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babal, remember? You mean Sheena, right? With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office. Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body?
He's right. Miss Sheena would drown if she did that.
It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. It looks like your hypothesis is about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body. What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in the ball?
Oh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool.
Get rid of the water? Aha! That's it! Now I believe this time we really are done, correct? Nope. Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You're a most persistent man. Are you saying that you've thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move the body through the water? That's completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me? The reason I say that is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean there wasn't any water? Just what it sounds like. That events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. Fuck, what was it again?
Auto refills when the water level is too low. I mean, you use water to put out a fire, obviously. I think I'm just overthinking it. Tonight, the Yatagarasu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of this reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border. So what? The water level went down, the reservoirs were connected. Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a critical game-changing moment. A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route you use to smuggle the body, and that route will lead you to your defeat. Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. I know that. Should have figured that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway? Is that the writer's venting I hear? Maybe, I don't know. Well, you know those pools are extremely deep. And there are no ladders or footholds along the walls either. It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb up out of the pool. Ladders or footholds along the walls? There was no need for such things. What do you mean? If I were to use a certain something, they could go up down the pool that will. Oh, looks like you got the answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already. We're gonna control the water level. Yep, okay.
Take that!
Mr. Alba used the fountain spouts, in a manner of speaking. He used the fountain spouts? How so? The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Sheena and the body were lifted upwards by their buoyancy in water. The fire on the Babalese side and the firefighting efforts, two very different things there. These were set in motion, all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Cochin's body. What happens if these two pieces of evidence proves at moments? Yeah, those would definitely help with brevity, yeah. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spouts in advance, in preparation of things to come. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the Rose Garden and pushed it along with the Iron Infant to Mr. Cochin's body into the pool. At this time, Miss Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babal. She then made for the open air stages pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. When the firefighters used the water in that pool, the water level went down. By the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the two pools was exposed. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabast into Babal. You know what? Why not? Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. And the water level rose up to its original level, along with Miss Sheena and the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There's an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see. Even with her small frame, she could have easily transported Mr. Cochin's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. No! Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your press's extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I think that's 11. Might be 12. I don't remember.
I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back.
You accuse me of moving the body across country lines. When you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me.
The nitty gritty? What's the old man want now?
I don't know, I think he wants grits or something. Or maybe proof. I believe proof is what he seeks.
Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of what you said really happened?
He wants proof? What are we gonna do, Mr. Edgeworth?
There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along.
Okay.
The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipes tonight. Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open the open area, you know, the one. So too did I find one other item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. This was another thing that was smuggled over to Babal's open air stage area. Okay, what? Can we read this again? It's also...
Take that!
And what exactly is this?
You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the Babalese side will be your undoing.
A guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were?
Much to your chagrin, perhaps, but this is not a guitar pick.
What?
This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it after all. But since you don't, allow me to fill you in on what I found at the stage actually belongs to. Rubbish wasn't lying. God, they really just don't do the two evidence pieces, huh? Although for this one it kind of makes sense because you need to do like the two things together, right? Anyway, it kind of looks like the pedal on here that's missing.
Take that!
I kind of assumed that. Let's take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Cochin. On the handle of this knife, there's this beautifully liquid flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Now, let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick into that open slot.
It's a perfect fit!
I assumed the petal must have fallen off of the flower during Mr. Cochin's murder. And then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart along with Mr. Cochin's body.
Oh, that's an interesting story. Nothing more.
Oh, I assure you it's more than just a story. Because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it.
It was wet, you say?
Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open-air stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theater wind up in the open-air stage on the Babalese side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as the pedal explains it all for me. Proves that someone went from the Rose Garden's pool on through into the ball. Hit me with the song, baby.
Impossible!
The people of Zank 5 have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy.
Why?
Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning. When you took your first life. No matter how you may plot, or how you may try to cover it all up. We're making progress, I hope so. You can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you.
You can't call what you've given a perfect argument.
You know, I don't think this guy is going to ever admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gee, you think?
Because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with are people who refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist because everyone breaks eventually.
You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Let's go, baby. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. Edgeworth, I'll be real. I mean, the to be continued gives me a little more hope, but I don't really trust those words anymore. Let's keep going, though. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. As if there's anything else for me to testify about. So I've yet to fully prove it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I'd like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Very well, I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show. Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place. For that is the key to the investigation. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. So you were in the theater proper, watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you? Of course I was. I have great fondness for the Steel Samurai.
Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, they do use a different theme for the last testimony, huh? Not the one who was cool, it's the Steel Samurai who's cool.
Yeah, the Steel Samurai special finishing move today was really something, huh? Hey, Edgy! Who's she? Who's this superhuman?
Die, 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 die! She's been standing here this whole time and only now he notices her? Her name is Kay Faraday. She's helping me in my investigation. Also, she's 16, you fuck. Back off.
Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, it's okay. I'm Larry Bugs! Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this.
Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle. You got that? I know. This is the end. For that man there. That's the kind of thing I like to hear. You gotta stop existing. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing he can stop doing. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. Can we go back to, like, you know, like in Dual Destinies and Apollo Justice, where he wasn't in either of those games? That was a nice time. I leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth. He's an Ace Attorney 8, not 7, 8. If he's in 7, that's totally fine. If he's in 8, that's it. That's the last straw. Have no fear, I will finish the job. This really is the end game. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lies. I pressed the wrong key. No, it's okay. It was funny. It was good. It was a good bit for me. I watched it from the last. Okay, I've read this already. I don't need to do it again. Do you remember the contents? Tell me about them. I remember the contents of the show as well myself. That's nice. That's nice.
Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture.
No, I wasn't planning to let him.
Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And didn't you think this climactic scene of today's show was just totally awesome?
Yes, I remember that well. That spectacular special move. Way to deliver the final blow as evil magistrate. Early summer rain jab. I don't think it was that, buddy. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever.
Is that how it went? I totally forgot about that.
How can you forget your own special moves? That's a special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear.
Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how can I answer you with the name of the move?
I suppose you are correct, but if you could please elaborate on this point more for me.
Hey, buddy. Guess what?
Objection!
The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer?
Objection!
You little irritating gnat! Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over?
Yeah, that's kind of how these games work. That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. Even the leader of smuggling, we can't account for the stupidity of Larry Butts. You're so right. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this.
The Samurai Spear? What about it?
This spear actually never made it on stage today.
Excuse me.
Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special move was tonight?
It was a Steel Samurai sushi slash.
Correct, because he couldn't use the spear, a last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known the move that was used.
And you knew. Quackers Alpha! You didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you?
Ha! So if he wasn't watching the show tonight,
That opens up the possibility that he was killing Mr. Cochin instead.
So where were you during the show? I demand an answer, now!
what is so funny? You're so sloppy, Ayo. And so are your conclusions. I still insisted I watched the show, or most of it in any case.
What do you mean by most of it?
You see, during the show, I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assumed that was when that dramatic scene was played out on stage. That is the lousiest, lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal.
Drag his ass, Gumshoe! Get him! He took a big shit. I wish he didn't. Thank you, Chad.
Just because he got the name of the move wrong. We can't really use that as proof he didn't watch the show at all.
The scene that I saw. Yeah, you're kind of falling apart out here, all, but you're... Yeah?
As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I wanted to watch the entire show. Honest.
As a Steel Samurai fan, for someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan. Ever! Oh, who's holding it now?
Who was that just now?
It would be I, young lady!
Ugh! Larry! What are you doing interrupting me like that?
Edgy, just hold on for a sec, I beg! You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Samurai maniac!
I'm going to wring your scrawny little neck.
What exactly is a Steel Samaniac, pal?
I believe you meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac.
Yeah, and trust me, I know a real fan when I see one, because I'm the Steel Samurai!
I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai.
What are you getting so worked up over, Mr. Edgeworth?
It appears the real Steel Samurai recognizes me as a fan.
I'm going to. I might walk away. I might just walk away. As well as he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show, filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart.
This sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker.
Getting the name of the move wrong only proves I didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links us all directly to the murder of Mr. Manny Cochin.
You know what, Gramps? You're really something else.
I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai. What is it for?
Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. That move is a bit of a secret, and only a small portion of the staff know about.
Wait, it was a secret? Larry, wait, what'd you just say?
Huh? Oh, did I say something stupid again?
Yes. You said, well, I mean, yes, it was stupid, but also it helps us, I think. You said the early summer rain job was actually a secret.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show.
Right before?
Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer rain jab, that's how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I'd already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kind of pointless.
All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy.
So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we can't pretend that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret.
So basically, a gag order was issued for publicity's sake.
It almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art.
Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move.
Hold those lips of yours still!
What the heck, old man?
I've done nothing but listen. From what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's a very tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time. Much like a kid's show.
Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. He pointed Francisco at Steel Samurai pages just from proximity to Miles.
How dare you!
I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony.
Ha! So you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to be read in the behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show.
Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, Quackus Alba. You were the one who said it yourself that the name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start.
So, just what are you driving at?
That's the name of the move you told us was never used in the show or said aloud. Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move? Because I can only think of one way you could have known. Quackus Alba, this is the only way you could have known the name of the special move. How are we feeling? We're feeling all right. I don't know. There's a lot happening. You saw the move, I guess. You saw the name of the move. You knew the name because you saw it, and you knew you saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. Feeling these fucking shut up, rubbish. I wasn't laughing at your joke. I was laughing at just my like harshness. I don't mean that, but also the staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. Yeah, Lang showed up like a me and the boys image and he helped us, I guess. Larry also showed up, but he didn't have an image like that. So you couldn't have simply got up to a staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means that
Mr. Alba was in the waiting room at some point, right?
What's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means.
there's another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. Oh yes, Kiki, we're also doing an extraterritorial rights counter. So we can't afford to let that slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Cochin's murder. Pushcart. How are we doing? We're at 11, I think. The pushcart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. It was finally pushed there, along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show ended, it went into Alabas along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage.
So basically, the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show.
Precisely.
Oh, but wait, what if, and this is just a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room?
What do you mean, Kay?
I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going into the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb.
But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body with the pushcart.
There haven't really been many standout moments, in a good way this stream, Kiki, so I don't think we have yet. Correct, and it is because of the setup of the theater's dressing room. It would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Cochin. Crackasalba, during the show, you went down to the dressing room, and I want to know why.
Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it! I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal! You hear that? Arrest!
Gumshoe's out for blood and honestly based?
Not so fast.
What is it now?
Don't I deserve a chance to explain?
You have had plenty of times to explain yourself, you fucking Wispy Woods looking motherfucker. Explain? What is there to explain?
I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions. When I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside.
Give me objection, go away, then we already got that. Yeah, we had that funny moment. And that's what I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard.
You punk! Stop still trying to get out of this!
Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do to stop him?
I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything.
I don't have the anti-evidence I need to put this man away for good!
If that's what I need, then perhaps. Agent Lang, leave an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible that we may find new evidence there.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth pokes around there. I'm sure we'll find some new facts, pal.
Ooh, and if we use a little thief, we may even learn something for a recreation.
Yeah, come on, like... I feel like even for an Ace Attorney game, this is fucking excessive. How much we've got on him. We don't need to do any of that.
What, Wolfie? How could you?
I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that, we've already searched there. My men really are something else.
And they found nothing?
There's only one thing I can say to you, sis, is that they found nothing. That's it.
I guess you're right. If they had found something, they would have reported it to us.
They couldn't find anything because there was nothing to find.
And if there's no info to feed into Little Thief, they can't do much to help either.
Is this the end? The murder took place in this theater, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. I'm sorry, I can't. Yeah, another one to the counter. I'm sorry, I'm just so out of it now. That just completely like went in one ear and out the other when he said it that time. Is there no other course of action left to us?
It would appear that your hand of cards has turned out to be a bust. Now, if you'll excuse me, because of you people, I missed my flight. Now I must make haste to arrange for a new one.
Who is it this time?
Who is it then?
Me and Kay on the same wavelength, but she's like genuinely invested, and I'm not. because I fucking knew it was gonna be Wendy.
Hold it right there, you whippersnappers.
First Larry and now you?
What is with that scary mobster Psycho 100 like scowl on your face, Edgy Poo? Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance. I've been meaning to say this, but all of you keep talking about things I don't get at all. You're leaving this lady in the sad, depressing, lonely dust, and I'm about to cry in.
Why did you have to speak? That's it, that's all that line said.
But you know what, Edgy Poo? Cheer up. So I have to give you the most wonderful thing.
The most wonderful thing from you?
It's so super special, I couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know. My special present of love to my sweet Edgy Poo. Are you ready? It's this.
It's... what the dog's doing?
It's a box of those samurai dogs, right? Yes, oh Edgy Poo here. Go on and eat one, you'll feel as right as rain.
Okay.
Are we through here?
You're just done with her shit. I mean, yeah, mood. But also, I feel like for a final fucking case, we have undercut the tension one too many times.
Edgy Poo, tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you. I'm not one to hand out snacks willy-willy, you know. No, sir. The thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good if I made you nice and full one day. It's my dream to serve you some of my own homemade food. I mean, isn't it the desire of every woman to make sure that their beloved never goes hungry? That's what I wanted to experience. Like one thing a long time ago, you stayed awake for a delicious meal of hey, you agree, you do it in front of me. I was real sorry, the kids back then. I was, Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her?
Oh yeah, Maggie was in this game.
There's no power on earth that can force that woman into silence.
Again, Wendy Oldbag is dead. You know, she has not appeared in the sequel trilogy, thank God. So, that's fair.
But I'm so sick and tired of it. All you people do is look down on me. Even this box of samurai dogs played me for a fool. I had a special Osiris fan like the Japanese flag, so I thought it was special.
She was implied to be alive at one point, damn.
When I ate one, tasted just like the rest. Oh, it made me so mad.
I was gonna say something, but no, I just don't want her back. It was one thing that we had to have Larry back in Spirit of Justice's DLC case, but I'm at least glad they didn't bring back Wendy too. I know that's the bare minimum of a compliment I can give, but still. It's a backhanded compliment at that. Wait, a special box with a Hinamaru-like fan on it? I never heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before. However, there it is. The red rising sun, this fan is filled in. That was the case where she was implied to be. True, but she did not show up. I feel like I would have remembered if she actually like showed up in person. I'm taking my W's where I can get them. Is it possible? Could it be?
After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the dressing room floor.
However, there's no such thing as a rising sun dog. This contradiction of facts is between something that should not exist and yet does. The rays from this rising sun may be just what we need to point us in the right direction.
A present? The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. I had to pile the push cart just to move them all.
What's rising sun, dog? Nothing much what's rising sun with you. I'm gonna... Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. in the It's like 3 in the morning in game, I think. I thought they were gonna do that for a second. Unfortunately, it seems like mainline Ace Attorney is kind of averse to character growth. At least we have Great Ace Attorney. I mean, those games are self-contained, so they kind of had to have character growth, but you know.
I believe you understand what this means, correct?
You killed Mr. Coach at this theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then, you forced the Steel Samurai dog to unwittingly move the body for you. Time to piece the final pieces of this logic puzzle together. No matter how fragile or small the connections may be, once we've found them all, the way to the truth will be revealed. Okay. The killer used the pushcart to transport the body. Which means they had to remove the samurai dogs from within first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled up on the dressing room floor were most likely taken out of the pushcart by the killer. Thank you, DD Droid. I will keep my posture right. I don't want to end up like Alba. That which should not exist. This box of samurai dogs with a Hinamaru on it. This red rising sun was filled in when the killer was busy removing dogs. Characters grow up. I mean, yeah, fair enough. There's like, it's kind of pick and choose, honestly. Like I've noticed that some characters, like, especially like, yeah. I mean, of course, like, yeah. If you're a main character, yeah, you get growth. If you're a recurring character, it's like 50-50. It's proof the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it to be. Wendy, old bag. I thank you. What you have given to me is something very special. Edgy poo! Mr. Edgeworth, are you sure you're feeling okay, sir? Mr. Alba, as suspected, you killed Mr. Cochin in the dressing room. How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are... This isn't even close to the voice I was doing before. Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate is with some definitive evidence. That arrogance, that self-confidence. You believe that you've erased every piece of evidence that could incriminate you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good. Ha! You're bluffing. Oh, hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sounds like you finally found them. You finally found the fangs we need to go after this guy's jugular. So tell us, what about that box of samurai dogs gonna put the old man away? I mean, the red spot, apparently. The trace that will bring him down. Why, it's here, of course. Whoop. These box of samurai dogs with a rising sun fan on it. This should have never existed. So why don't you all take a good look at this red spot? It's... I'll walk away right now. I'll walk away right fucking now. I will... Don't test me. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll take a sip to that. Blood, you say? Agent Lang, I'd like this blood analyzed post-haste. I've gotta admit, I'm a bit surprised. Can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey, you! Get this down to the lab, pronto!
But why was there blood on that box to begin with?
When we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said that you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcart, correct?
Oh, yeah. You have a great memory, Edgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, you know what I mean? So to make sure everyone could see him, I had to pile some stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the cart.
What Larry says is true. What are the boxes doing on the floor?
Ah, I see.
The killer took him out in order to place the body in the pushcart. Exactly, and that is when I believe the victim's blood found its way onto that box. But when my men investigated that room, not a single box of samurai dogs was in there, because embassy staff members had already confiscated them. Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of the murder.
It's a good thing Miss Oldbag managed to steal that one back before they got to them, huh? Also, Miss Oldbag also managed to put this great thief to shame.
What a scandalous way of putting that. I didn't steal, I received it from myself.
Quackus Alba, I'd say it's one very fatal oversight on your part.
Sorry to rain on your little love fest. However,
How can he be so self-confident in a no-win situation for him like this?
even if that blood turns out to belong to Mr. Cochin, then what?
So, Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not ready to call it quits yet, huh?
He sure hasn't.
I mean, he sure isn't. The sole piece of evidence that was left at the crime scene. This alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room.
And you say that like it means something.
Huh?
Excuse me, sirs. Report! What were the results of the analysis? Sir, the analysis came back and confirmed that the blood substance is blood. I knew it with this Quercus Alba.
Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might humor my question.
Your question?
The one from before, or have you forgotten? Even if that is Mr. Cochin's blood, what difference would it make?
Let me arrest you. I'm so sick. Like we already told you, proves the crime scene was that dressing room.
Well, it doesn't prove that I'm your killer, does it? That's...
He has a very good point, does he? 3 hours, baby! The blood in that box doesn't prove that Mr. Alba is the killer.
Then this evidence is meaningless?
That can't be. We were so close, sir.
I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's gotta be something we can do.
We finally found a solid piece of evidence. Must be something we can do to expose him with it. Ugh! I can't think of a single thing.
Now, if you'll excuse me. Who was that? It's too late. Well, now anyone to stop me now, it is 4 in the fucking morning.
It wasn't me, pal.
It wasn't me this time either.
It wasn't me either.
It was me!
Kagami, you're right in front of us. You didn't have to yell. Come on.
Because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir.
There's more?
What? Hurry up and spit it out.
Yes, sir. The blood I mentioned. It's not the same blood type as the victim's blood.
What?
No. What? Forensics, dude, let's go. Shoutouts to Kagami. What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his, then who the hell's is it? I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim's, sir.
What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's what anymore.
Neither do I. My, what an amusing turn of events! That blood drop proved me something true, alright. Proved something to be true, alright. Namely, my words. Which one of your words would that be? The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. That blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Need I remind you of the blood that got that box long ago before it entered my embassy?
What sort of nonsense?
Yeah, it's blood, pal!
There's no way it's not related to the murder.
So you would like to believe. What if someone preparing a samurai dog had a small nosebleed? What then? Oh my fucking god. Woo! I guess that's possible. Damn it! Have we been wasting our time on a red herring? The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough. Gracchus Alba, you bastard! Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again! I've wasted enough time here with you, and you have your answers. Now let me through. Alba! It doesn't matter where you run off to, you'll never escape me! Someday I'll have the satisfaction of sticking my fangs into you. You'll see. This was Sour Grape's last ditch argument any character has ever made in this franchise, yeah? And all of it will be behind me. We're gonna see to it that the day comes. Do you know what your words sound like to me? They sound like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt. I'm just gonna say it, Greatest Attorney 2's final case did this whole, insurmountable opposition thing better. Is this really the extent of all that we can do? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case? Is there another possibility? Someone else other than the victim? Should I thought I had him backed into a corner, it is I who's been backed into one. In a situation like this, what would that man do? What would he who can turn any desperate situation around do? Turn it around? That's it! I must turn my way of thinking around. It's not whose blood is this? It's whose blood could get onto the box like this. If I think about it this way... Yeah, I find it very odd that they just, like, refuse to even name drop Phoenix at all in this game. Like, he just refers to him as that man. Okay. If the blood got onto the box when the body was being placed into the pushcart. How ridiculous. And the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at the time. There's only one person that could be. Phoenix Wright doesn't exist. Ugh. Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because of you kids that I was removed from the center stage, and will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss. I see the world will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom like what the raven feels as it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me. Not now, not ever. The arm of the law is
powerless before me.
Objection!
What? Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you.
What do you mean?
Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful.
Pitiful? How so?
Yeah. Yeah, like, this, like, at first I thought, hey, maybe I'm kind of overdoing it with this voice, but no, this voice is kind of perfect for how much of a vile rat bastard this guy is.
Quercus Alba, your wings were clipped long ago.
For someone who is trying to fly away on them without noticing that fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe.
Ha! Mere words.
What do you mean by his wings are clipped, Mr. Edgeworth?
Just what you think it means, Kay. We've already caught him in our trap a while back. With an incredibly powerful, definitive piece of evidence.
Hey, Earth Mr. Prosecutor, care to speak English?
It was a Quercus Alba day.
What are you talking about? What piece of evidence?
The piece I speak of is, of course, this drop of blood.
We know that it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains irrelevant to the case at all.
Miss Von Karma, I believe that is exactly why it's very important to this case. And the part that is the most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. You're looking a little pale. Good, and I believe you're already aware of what I mean.
Then you know who the blood belongs to.
Of course I do. This piece of evidence is irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belonged to this person. Wendy Old, no, it's great. The blood of the rising sun on this box belongs to you, Quercus Alba.
What?
Where's his blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim!
The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Coach's body was being loaded into the push cart. At that time, the only two people in this dressing room were the victim and his killer.
So that's what you mean. If the blood doesn't belong to the victim.
There's only one other person it could belong to.
Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion.
But Mr. Coach was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding?
What if during the murder, Mr. Coach had fought back?
You mean if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Kochi managed to wound Mr. Alba?
Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves he was bleeding then. March 14th to 15th, I see. Nice. Anyway, yeah, they kind of like lingered for so long that I think I've kind of more or less figured out how it happened, yeah.
Take that!
Mr. O, you bear on your body a great wound.
That was from when Damask 2 attacked me with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, and that happened way after he was in the dressing room.
Ah, but is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it, so I can't just accept that as fact. Should we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors?
You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You're the single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility.
You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You've managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as the smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal.
I am the master of my fear.
Yeah, okay.
However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing.
You believe I've overlooked something?
You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Cochin.
Why'd he go to the theater? He was just feeling a little quirky, I don't know.
And that it was caused here at one of the theater's dressing rooms, right?
Yes, that is correct.
I'd like to point out that's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound. One that could only have come from a blade. I wonder where you propose that such a weapon came from.
This theater is packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into this area with a weapon of any sort.
Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring in the alabaster knife in the bouquet.
There must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort. Ah, but as long as you can't prove what that other way is, all your talk about Mr. Cochin stabbing me is just pure nonsense. So if that other way does exist, you better hurry and tell me now.
With pleasure.
Wait, what?
This piece of evidence shows us how Manny Cochin brought a weapon into the theater. He used the Keyblade, baby!
Take that!
Among law enforcement, this piece is known as the Yatagarasu's key.
That's key!
That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago.
This game is so much, yeah. And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife. Meaning that under the guise of a key, it could have easily been brought into the theater. You could dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back in Mr. Cochin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that safe, there was a document about Cadopian paper, signed by Mr. Cochin. In order to make it look like Mr. Cochin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife's blade with your wound, Mr. Quercus Alba? And that is what some may call the coup de grace.
Impossible. You can't take me down. Swine! All of you! Especially Manny Cochin. This is all because of that man's betrayal. He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me, removing me as ambassador. Why deserve to die while bearing the guilt for all of my crimes for me? Why set up the Yatagarasu's guard, and how this incident was born. Manny was supposed to be a smuggling ring's leader, was killed by the Yatagarasu. But I had yet another reason, yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close. We've gotten away for it too, if it wasn't for you meddling prosecutors.
Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask. This country's, or Alba's, which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. And now we're back here now. We couldn't waste a single second there with that. We could not waste a single second with that man after that. We just had to leave immediately.
Ooh, This is it, the big day. It's Mr. Alba's trial today.
And next week he's scheduled to stand in trial in his own country of Alabast. Francisco is heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving a full course of whiplashes at it.
Having to face Miss Von Carver in court right after facing you. Sir. Ugh, I don't even want to think about what that would be like. I caught a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted to the courthouse. And boy, he looked about as glum as I do the day before I get my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking. That flight attendant and even Mr. Portsman were all Mr. Alba's secret agents.
Correct. That smuggling ring was a common thread between all the incidents. Cammy Mia was to provide support during smuggling ops using her job as an attendant. And Mr. Portman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favor.
Ooh, I fly airlines and even the prosecutor's office. No one was safe from the smuggling ring, huh, sir?
I suspect there are even more members of this ring spanned throughout the world.
Yeah, it sounds like such a big op that I can't even begin to imagine what it's like.
What is it, Detective?
Nothing, it's just... Well, come to think of it. Mr. Ernest Amato's trial is also scheduled for later today, sir.
I'm aware of that. This fucking piece of shit has been working with the smuggling ring for over 10 years. He used the Amano Group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end, as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. I owe Mr. Amano a debt of gratitude, but he must pay for his debt to society.
Well, with the arrest of both Mr. Alba and Amano, I guess that about wraps up the KG8 incident as well, huh?
I suppose so. The real killer in the KG8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Kochin. And 7 years ago, the killer in the second KG8 incident was Mac Rell. Those two facts are the unshakable truth. However, it seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and other truths from us. And I will expose it all at the trials today.
You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir?
CCU and Died Man. Perhaps now these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the way, I received some gifts from Ambassador Paleno. You know, yeah, he just kind of disappeared, huh? After a certain point in the case. He just kind of disappeared. Shrimp, crab, beef, I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you.
What? Seriously, sir? Wait, actually, I don't think I want them anymore. The way you're holding them, tell me they're just coupons, sir.
Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became Cadopia again, its economy has changed.
Really?
And it seems that Ambassador Paleno has reaped a few benefits of his own from it. He has been announced as the official ambassador of the recently reunified Cadopia. Oh, what a pity. You know, every item he sends is a treasure. You don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant Kay.
Wait, that's not what I said. So, Mr. Edgeworth, please let me have them, sir. Actually, come to think of it, where is Kay? How come she's still not here?
Hey, you gotta be more alert than that.
Uh-uh.
I can't believe you didn't notice. I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit.
I totally didn't notice you. I didn't realize that voice was you.
Long as he says, ferocious love blooms with each new spring. I was not even incarcerated yet. Yeah. Agent Lang, pleasant surprise to see you here. It's been a long time since I set foot in a courthouse, but I wasn't gonna miss watching the guy who screwed up my country finally get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I wanted to see you in action in court. Is that so, Agent Lang? We've flushed out all the counterfeit bills, so Zhang Fa is finally at peace again. And it's all thanks to you, so I just want to say... thanks.
Wow, I never thought I'd see the day old Wolfie says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth.
I should be the one thanking you, Agent Lang. If you hadn't negated Mr. Alba's extraterritorial rights, one last one for the road, I would not have been able to bring him to trial. I believe the victory belongs to both of us in this case. A perfect 13, baby. A shade victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong. I'll still never forgive you, prosecutors. And I have zero interest in that truth thing you talk about in court. I've always done things my own way. And that's not about the change, you got that? I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job. Yeah, and if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. You really hit me with the cry about it. But as for me, I'm going to get that person no matter what.
All right. It's about time for the trial to start. I'll see you later. I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. I'm looking forward to this.
I've had a whole ton of ticker tape for today's victory, sir.
I'll hope there's some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins.
Hope you got enough, because I'm gonna go call my men up as well. More some ticker tape goes a long way. Ooh. I'm here. I'm okay. The scene shifts to the courtroom. The final act of this long tale begins. Psych, we aren't done yet. The great thief Yatagarasu is the story of those who chose to dedicate their lives to pursue the truth. Prosecutors are those who seek a guilty verdict for the defendants they meet. And to that end, you have no choice but to win by any means necessary. My crew was forced on me since I was young. However, I no longer think that is all we prosecutors are. And that is because I am gay. Even though I've only been away from the courtroom for a short time, I feel as though it's been a lifetime since I set foot in one. And today, more than any other day, I feel the fight right these moments. Alright, there's the game. It sure was. I'll go into my thoughts in a minute.
I really am in Mr. Edgeworth's debt for the other day. Thanks to him, I'm still free to serve in the friendly blue skies. Oh, so about my suitcases. I've been selling them on the internet and they've become a real sensation.
The internet will buy anything.
Thanks to the praise the art world has lavished my look of being truly postmodern. The airline has chosen me to design their new line of iFly jumbo jets.
What a week. Sir, it's Wednesday.
Someday you'll be able to take a ride in my pink-walled, yellow-seated jet.
I do think, yes, this is the most flawed Ace Attorney game I've played. Even more, yes, than Leighton vs. Wright. I'll say it.
Edgeworth? Ah, that rudeness of a rude man. Because of him, my time and money is wasted. But more importantly, I received the most fantastic treasure recently. Relic statue of the Principality of Cadopia. It weighs a bit light in my hands, but the Ambassador Palermo was most generous.
Congrats to complete the prologue of Investigations 2, yes sir! I really only played this to say that I could I've beaten every Ace Attorney game.
We finally caught Agent Hicks's killer, and I was able to witness Mr. Alba's teary eyes. It's good to finally bring everything to a close. I received another offer from Interpol to work another case in cooperation with them. However, the Cadopian court awaits. Cadopia's air is supposed to be very fresh, so my whip should find new vigor there.
I don't like it, but that's still a crime. Man.
This little patrolman has been fired as of today, sir! I thought I was safe since we found the gun I dropped. But I hadn't noticed that I dropped my police badge, too! I guess what really broke the camel's back was I couldn't find my badge. My little life has suddenly tripped into a dark black hole, sir! I think I'll go to the courthouse and file a complaint with Ruffles Man.
Meekan's got fired, yeah.
Shit.
He's the only character introduced in Case 5 I like. Are you talking about Mika? No, you're talking about Paletto. Mika's was introduced in Case 5 in the first game, not in Investigations.
I was actually hoping to talk a bit more with Mr. Edgeworth than I did. But I've got to get going and return to Europe. I've still got a long way to go and a lot of stuff to study there. Next time I help Mr. Edgeworth on a case, I'm gonna do it as a real forensic scientist. I'm sure he's gonna need all the help I can get him, scientifically.
But yeah, what cases did I like in this game? 4. Case 4. I think that's the only one I really liked from beginning to end. That one was pretty dope. The rest of them range from just kind of okay to please get out of my sight.
Because the kidnapping was staged, I was let off easily. But I won't be going outside much anytime soon. That's really okay. The only person I'm forever trapped in is this cage of love. A guard at the detention center. Well, when he's on guard duty. He has such a cold look in his eyes, just like that prosecutor.
I also like the part of Case 5 when we revealed Sheena. So, you know, basically anything with Callisto in it was pretty based. Other than that, yeah. Case 5 is good until it overstays its welcome. It appears there are all sorts of drama that take place outside the courtroom. Since we judges are here day in and day out, I've only heard a few rumors, but apparently Mr. Edgeworth teamed up with a thief and became a detective. Maybe I should team up with a bailiff and try and become a lawyer or something. When are we getting the base Turing game we play as judge? No, please. Don't. There she is. There's Maggie and Gummy.
Whew! I barely escaped death yet again.
Yeah, but boy, were we lucky to have Mr. Edgeworth help us out, huh?
Yeah, but because I lost the key, I got fired from my security guard job.
Don't let it get you down, Maggie. You still got me.
You're right, sir. I won't be sad. I'm gonna pick myself up and get through this.
The game we learn the judge's name is the game he dies. Or gets convicted. Yo, shoutouts to Brandon Gay. That's my goat right there. That's my fucking dude. Oh, here he is. Here's Mr. Capitalism.
Why not come to Cadopia for your summer vacation? We have coupons aplenty.
Right now, our embassy is proud to present our Let's Investigate a Murder show.
Although Rick created that particular case and created a few small fires of its own. We had a few problems with the fire marshals, but the next event will be great.
It will be an attraction entitled Capture the Yatagarasu. Of course, I hope not to in this case help in creating our latest attraction. Yeah, so my hunch about him was completely unfounded, but he still did some fucked shit in the end. So, you know, selling counterfeits. God damn it.
I can't believe that Mindy ditched me and went to Japan! She took the fucking kids, but it's okay, because that's how I met Miharu! We were planning to go to Paris soon and start a bear business! We're gonna sell Blue Ocean dogs! They'll sell like hotcake hot dogs for sure!
Hey Larry, who was in Paris?
A blue hot dog and a blue bun! I guarantee it'll turn your tongue and your face blue! I know I'm not really the type to work a lot, or at all really, but... Oh, so I noticed I really haven't seen the guy in the blue suit at all recently. I wonder what's up. Well, next time we meet, I'm gonna have to make him eat one of my dogs. Not the hot dog, you know, so something else. Another dog, if you get what I'm saying. Hey, yo!
Guy in the blue suit, we're really allergic to his name, yep.
He gave a testimony in court as a member of the Yatagarasu.
Yo, Mr. Bad! You look well, all things considered. By the way, have you noticed that elements within the ring have begun moving?
They're probably fighting over who should succeed. Over who should be the next boss.
Also, yeah, Bad was a really fucking good character. Probably the best one in the game. So again, Case 4 and the first half of 5 were probably the best part.
Langsy says, thoroughly bite the poisonous snake from head to tail. No one's afoul of the law and escapes this wolf's fangs. I'll get you all yet.
Ah, youth. When did I become so old, I wonder? I've begun noticing the gray hairs in my beard more. They can retire under my mirror.
Keiji Inafune, get out! Get out, you fucking hack!
I was the pink princess and the pink badger. All the spare 2 days. Talk about busy. But it's alright, because I got a letter from my beloved Edgy Poo. Please take care of your hip. And when you wish to speak, first take off your headpiece. What does it mean by that last statement? It's not like I enjoy being under a headpiece every time I see him. I've been an alien and some creepy fuzzy pink animal, and then it was a pink princess. My hero just references to a young man. I was trying to sign Hammerhead, and right now I'm doing a costume or something. This just sounds like a terrible idea. Whew.
Oh. But wait! There's more! My ability to read always impresses Perry. Thank you. I'm committed. Even to the worst of characters, unfortunately.
Whoa, I feel so much better now that the trial's over. As always, your legal prowess was top-notch, sir.
Yeah, nothing beats the look on Mr. Alba's face when you revealed the ring's secrets. I was amazed. You're like a totally different person when you step into a courtroom.
Mr. Edgeworth is always 10 times fiercer in court.
Based on the information Mr. Alba offered up, they begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Francisca and Ace.
So, what are your plans now, Kay?
Oh, well, we've taken care of the creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure.
My favorite appearance of Wendy is actually in Ace Attorney 3 because she literally only appears in the credits roll, and that's because the devs at the last second realized they had just enough time to squeeze her into the fucking credits. They had just enough time and just enough space on the GBA cartridge to just fit her in there. It's her smallest role, and it's also probably the funniest because of that.
Hey, I know. Maybe I'll just keep on being Mr. Edgeworth's assistant.
Are you still trying to steal my job, pal?
Just kidding, just kidding. I can't steal something so important to you, Gummy.
I respect the level of trolling. Yeah.
Phew, what a relief.
Okay.
Yes?
Even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become a great thief?
Of course! I'm gonna rob the fuck out of those rich people! But I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yatagarasu. So I'm gonna hold off on doing anything until I make a tight three-person team of my own.
A 3-person team?
A 3-person team of young beauties the same age as me, if possible.
With those criteria, I highly doubt you'll find the 2 other people you need.
My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what was so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only things I'll ever steal are truths that have been hidden away. And also hopefully the hearts of some other maidens at some point, but you know, that'll be in the future. I'm gonna work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed.
Let's both strive for such a future.
Well, I guess it's time for me to get going.
I see.
Yay! Keep your chin up and stay strong, okay?
Wasn't there a court skip for a trailer in Ace 34 in which Gwendy was the culprit? Maybe. I don't know. I would totally yeah, I would absolutely, get it if they wanted to, Yasuhiro her for the promotional material.
Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the windows and sneak in.
If you could, I'd appreciate it if you came through the building's front door. It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home has been broken for forever. Gummy, no!
Oh, one last thing before I go. Let's take a group picture, just the three of us.
Yeah, commemorative photo. Every big case has to end with one.
No.
Hey, why not?
Don't tell me a camera shy, Mr. Edgeworth.
Of course not, detective.
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from this, sir. Hey, Detective Gumshoe! Stop that! I can't be seen doing that!
Okay, I'm totally taking it now. Say cheese.
And thus, the long tale of the KG8 incident came to a close. It saw the demise of a smuggling ring and the birth of a little great thief. But there was little time to rest and relax. But I'm eager to tackle the investigation into a new case. The reason for my eagerness is I want to pursue the truth. And I want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor, that is my new creed. Man, look at these idiots, I love them. I sure hope nothing terrible happens in about 2 weeks. Well, yeah, that is Ace Attorney Investigations. It is another checkbox on my quest to beat every Ace Attorney game. I will not be playing Ace Attorney Investigations 2 immediately. I'm going to be taking a bit of a break before that. I'm going to play some other games on stream. But I expect to play Investigations 2 sometime in either late January or early February of next year. So, you know. But for now, though, I think I'm gonna lay down, you know, rest my voice a little, get some water. At the very least, streaming this and doing stuff with chat made it a lot of fun. So, you know. Thank you for coming, thank you for staying, thank you for watching the show, and I will see y'all around next time. I don't know when that'll be. You know, maybe next year, maybe next week. See ya!